Move on to an update on the FX and fixed income space. I have with me Yomi Balogun, and he'll be giving us an update. Yomi, it's great to have you on the show. I'd like to start an update on the happenings in the T-bill space. We hear that there was an OMO auction of 179 billion naira hitting the system today, and also there was a subsequent that there was an OMO a maturity of 179 billion hitting and a subsequent OMO auction. So give us some more detail into what happened today.
Okay, yes, there was a maturity of about 179 billion in OMO bills that matured into the system today. The CBN, on the other hand, offered about 140 billion in OMO treasury bills. That was what was offered, but the total that was allotted is about 122 billion. Now, they had also on Tuesday offered about 100 billion in OMO bills, and the allotment was about 99 billion. So in total, they've sold over 200 billion in OMO bills.
So do you feel that the maturities that we're seeing this week could trigger a price rally in the T-bills market?
Well, not exactly. There would be a price rally in the maturities that were offered at the OMO auctions, because for those maturities, the rates were substantially higher than what was trading in the market. So we'll probably see a price rally in those maturity, but not in the other maturities.
Now, of course, the MPC decision was out this week. Are you starting to see any impact at all in the fixed income space?
Well, you see, the MPC decision was more than it was expected that it would remain flat. There was no surprise outcome. Most of whatever would have happened had been priced in by traders. So not too much impact in the fixed income space.
I'd like to get an update on the bond market, because we hear that there was a sell-off of bonds with investors switching into T-bills. So give us an update on what's going on in that space.
Okay, you're right. Yesterday, after the primary auction results were released, that's in the T-bill market auction, we had more or less sort of a sell-off from investors taking out their longer maturities and moving into the T-bill maturities, because the yields that were posted after the auction was substantially higher than what it was before. So we saw sort of a switch. Some of the investors took the decision to move from the longer end of the market into the shorter end of the market.
Now let's get an update on the WDAS auctions we've seen this week. We saw sales at the bi-weekly auction increasing 22% to $300 million yesterday. So run through what's gone on this week in that space.
Well, as this week, you know, we have two auctions, one on Monday and one on Wednesday. The one on Monday was not fully subscribed, but the one yesterday was fully subscribed at 300. But the total that has been sold this week is about 540 million.
Interesting. Now, of course, it'd be good to know what happened with the naira today and the outlook going forward. We saw the naira weaken by 4 kobo yesterday to 158.34 naira. So give us an update on what's happening there.
Well, the weakening of the naira is to be expected after we had gone through the route of the monthly oil company auction of FX. That happened last week, and there was some substantial inflows of FX, but that has more or less dried up. We are not seeing those kind of flows this week, so as expected, the market ticked up. But what we are seeing is that it did not really depreciate to the extent that a lot of people expected, because we also saw some inflows coming in this week also from some of the oil majors and also from offshore investors. So the depreciation has been a bit subdued to my mind, and it's not really as bad as one would have expected.
And so in your view, what do you feel could trigger the fixed income market? I mean, of course, now we've had the April inflation figure out, the MPC decision is out. So going forward, what major event is expected to perhaps trigger the market?
Well, apart from things like the auctions coming up, the next auction coming up, and also the fact that offshore investors, we did see a slowdown when the oil prices were going downwards, we saw a slowdown in offshore interest in the fixed income space. But immediately the oil price picked up again, we saw a renewed interest. So I guess the oil price is one trigger that one would watch out for in that space.